Up. Hello, everyone. I'm saying hello automatically because I now know what to do. Well, happy Friday to you. How are you? Man, all of you are looking so good. Can't believe that there's people actually in the chat room. But hello, everyone. Um, I usually do these in the past where I just would record it and then post it. But I thought, well, you know, it's kind of cold outside. Got my favorite hoodie on. And well, I don't know if this is actually a hoodie. Anyway, it was gotten, I think, at the second to last Steely Dan concert at Red Rocks here in Colorado. Great concert. In that concert, they had um, Miss Houston, and I'm trying to think of her name. Um, anyway, I'm not recalling, but she was a fabulous blues singer. She had been battling cancer. Uh, and what made this so remarkable, I'll think of her name. I keep on wanting to say Thelma, but don't quote me on this. And wow, the band that she was with was made up of a lot of the Motown studio musicians. And what a performance. And when Steely Dan got on, and any of you who have ever seen Steely Dan know that they put on a tremendous show. She got out there and just started dancing. And I mean, it just energized the crowd. It shows you how the energy of one individual can literally ignite already a high intense energy situation, which a concerts are. And sadly, she passed on, I believe, about 2 months after that. So it was one of her last shows. Anyway, um, thought I'd just come in and chat with everyone. So let's see what's going on here, as they would say. Um, I have a lot of files opened up, so forgive me on this one. A do to do papa. Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. How are you? Man, the room is really full. Um, hello. Goodness gracious, Sandra D, Raven, Wolf, Warrior Princess, Gravity Storm, Deborah. Hey, Corey, how you doing? Universal, Joe, Brian, Sarah, Critical, Free Man. Man, so I got my Bengal spice tea, and I want to report what happened last night. I have really received literally almost, I counted them, 37, 38 emails from people I hadn't really ever heard of before, and some that who I have, and we communicate regularly. Um, Folks, 100%, not one negative comment. And even some who were the most skeptical wrote that this is something they're going to look into it more. So there was a purpose for this. My background is, besides technology, was marketing and sales. And if you were to have done a focus group, a blind focus group, this would have been off the chart. So we're going to do it again. I want to thank our panelists as well. Sue, thank you so much. Sandra G, thank you. And what can be said about Rex Bear, the man over at Leak Project? I went to bed laughing, chuckling. I think I may have even been laughing in my sleep. I've got to tell you, and I'll confess to you, what happened right before, when Rex went off screen and before the Martian leader appeared, it had really affected me seeing this third eye. I mean, listen, my rational mind is going, all right, Wayne, what you're seeing is the optics of both right and left, peripheral vision, you know, blending in to make the picture. Well, that's what my brain may be trying to say. Because remember, the brain really is nothing more than a bunch of meat. It's really what it is. Now, sophisticated meat, but nevertheless, it's what it is. It's flesh. And so that's when I saw within myself the the person within me. And it was quite interesting. It really was. And then here goes Rex, off pitcher, right? And he shows up with his shape shifting part. And that just hit my psychic so hard. And it was just funny. And that is the amazing thing of a high energy level, to have humor a part of a group meeting. So, way to go, everyone out there. Uh, Teresa Scott. Oh, hey, Mercury 7, I'm going to do this right now while I've got you in my sights. There we go. All right. Mercury, there you go. Olivia, hello. Boy, I'll tell you, everyone, this is amazing. So I want to get more feedback from those of you who will maybe have some more deeper knowledge. Let's talk about this third eye. Very interesting that for me, in a collective group, you know, to really let your guard down. Now, it's easy for all of y'all out there in the chat room. We can't see you, but you can see us. And you have to block that out. And I indeed did. And it happened the second time, almost picked up where we stopped off. Now, some people said we want to do it longer. I think that everyone was aware of how long 3 minutes can be, particularly with no sound. So obviously, the frequency of this group is increasing. It's contagious. I have to say, everyone, again, it's very well felt. And so send me, if you have insights, let's talk about this third eye. If what, you know, and this is kind of a digression, but they said that the reason why they started putting fluoride into the water system was to just do that. It was to calcify that pineal gland that we all have. Do you think that that's what's going on here? Suppression of our psychic abilities? I don't know. I was outside literally about 15 minutes ago. The wind was just really picking up. And as I was stepping back into the garage, I was hit with this thought. I mean, it was tangible, not just a thought, it was something else. It was a psychic impression concerning a situation that I have been involved in. And I have to say to this, all of you empaths out there, and we have a lot of them in here, you know, this would not be the room for a person who would try to be, what shall we say, not who they are. I think that there is so many of you out there that call it intuitives, call it empaths, call it psychics, call it whatever you want. We're here and we're getting larger. I think the vibration, the frequency is expanding, And I have gotten a lot of emails from people who said, listen, I don't know how I got there. Found you. But I'm glad I'm here. You know, and I don't embarrass anyone by giving names unless you give me permission. I have a good pen pal now, and that's what I really call him. I don't know how you could say it in email, but with some good a friend now in South Africa. And what I love, like with Davey, you know, Trish G, who will be on Saturday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, is that because of this psychic connection we're all beginning to establish, and it's spreading. I was on Raven Wolf's channel, and I have to give her just high kudos. It's expanding further and further out. And I think that we're just a part of something much bigger. You're welcome, Mercury. And I see this intensifying. I mean, listen, if we do more of the mirror awareness projects, it's going to get around. I mean, that was just a phenomenal. I actually got a couple of emails, and I won't give names here, who wrote me this morning, and these people don't know each other. Y'all don't know each other. I know this. Saying, wow, don't know really what I got out of that initially, but the energy this morning, I got this energy. Heard that from 2 different people. Now, I find that interesting that this is something that's being shared. So if we continue on this track, who knows? I mean, seriously. I think it deserves more study. I think we can alter the future. I don't think the future is set. And if the future is predicated upon the majority of the energy that's being channeled into it, well, then I say, let's put a monkey wrench into the whole gears. Go, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's start interjecting this energy, the mirror awareness. Could it be just that simple? That once we begin to learn how to identify with the inner person, suddenly the outside shells are not as important. Color, race, language, beliefs, all that is topographical. By staring into a mirror collectively, we begin to see each of us individually, and then begin to understand that if we can see and understand and comprehend our own individuality of what that looks like, I don't think I want to wait for death. You know, I have been out in the astral plane. And I was asking myself, so what did you look like, Steiger? I don't remember. I was thinking about that recently, and I went, it wasn't important, I guess. I mean, I remember the time when I came back and paramedics were working on me. You know, Francis freaked out, you know, listen, the dude's gone, man. But I remember that scene. I can remember seeing it from like standing up on a table and looking into a room. I don't remember what I looked like. And I think that that's part of this whole experiment of awareness. What do we look like? Is it just that we're white blobs of energy? I don't know. Do we get over there on the other side and all of a sudden it comes flooding back into us, all of our previous past lives? I don't know. Maybe that's the contract. Sign here. You're going to have a experience of eternities. Yeah, that's right. We just need you to sign right here. And oh, by the way, you won't remember a thing about this, of who you are. So you're going to go through the experience handicapping yourself before you came in, because if you didn't, well, then the whole experience would be a facade. So you have to go into it with a complete blank slate, right? Now, I think that that's breaking down. We're getting more and more children that can, before that connection is severed, have clear impressions of their previous existences. I don't know. Pretty odd, eh? Well, there we go. And I think we are light. One, I think you're absolutely correct. I am convinced that that's what we are. I'm doing a program right now. I was working on it this morning on Orion. Some of the new Spitzer images that have come in. And Orion, folks, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think it's where the creators live. I think it's where they, if they have a home, I think this may be where they kind of abide. And I'm telling you, I'm thinking that there's more and more to this, that in the ascension of an individual, I would think, and I keep on thinking this, just think if you became a star, not in the concept of here, but an actual star, and you had 20, 30 billion years. Wow. That would give you a lot of time of introspection, right? How good are you at creating? Apparently, there are some stars who have no planets at all. And there's other stars that seem to have lots of planets. I don't know. Is our star a, how shall we say, a deity? I don't know. Earth is alive. You know, we're going to have Gary Purvince back on because there weren't many of y'all when Gary came on the first time, and I really want to have him. He's been on my radar. That when you think about it, why wouldn't planets, stars be living entities? Earth is. If Earth wasn't alive, one thing would be sure, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation. So that's what's in my head. As my wife said, she says, people have no idea. She said, it's kind of like going into, I'm going to be dating myself, but back in the day, they used to have the fairs that would come around, and it seemed to be a main staple of every carnival that went around. And let me digress 1 second here, talking about carnivals. Dean Koontz, back in the 90s, I am an avid reader, but now my reading is more research, science, history, those type of things. But I still enjoy the fiction. And Dean Koontz was one of my favorite fiction writers. And anyway, he had a couple of stories with carnies. Anyway, I digress. But within every carnival, there was you had a haunted house, right? But you also had the House of Mirrors. How many of you remember that? Am I dating myself? I don't know. Maybe I am. Let's see. By the way, Chelsea, I agree with you. There's something going on up there, but we're going to get into some of the headlines. But anyway, the thing I always found fascinating about the whole maze that you had to walk through, even at that young age, right? 8, 9, I mean, that's the best time. If you don't believe me, go watch some of the Leave It to Beaver uh, reruns. But I could remember at that age where a lot of other kids were freaking out. I saw a lot of adults that were freaking out. Uh, but I always had the presence of mind of understanding how that light was going. So anyway, uh, I'm just reading some of y'all's things. Okay. So I want to do this because I enjoyed this aspect. And some of you have actually written me and said, would you do some more of those? And so by popular request, here we go. I don't know how many of you have been keeping up on this. Tyler over at Secure Team did a great report on this. I'm seeing these showing up of all places. You know, you can find it even in the New York Times. I mean, this story about what's happening over Russia is, I don't know, something is amiss. Whatever it is, it had a shock wave that came with it. Now, shock waves that are felt for thousands of miles, but yet there is no report of damage. I don't know. Here's a wild thought, and I'll let y'all see. They come up with 4 different ones. A meteor. Yeah. All I got to say is about if it's a meteor, Russia is like the freaking bullseye on a dartboard. They seem to get hit more, particularly with the big ones, than any other place. Military explosion. Yeah. I wonder if we actually did the story, did the rocket that went missing, you know, the Zuma, apparently missing somewhere? We're going to talk about it a little bit more. I don't know. Would that have something to do with this? I don't think a chemical plant explosion. Aliens? I had someone write me, and listen, I keep an open mind on everything. And this person, and it's an interesting, when you get the email boxes that are like A974, you know, you're going, okay. But said, the battle is about to take place. Remember when I gave you the hypothesis on the video I did on the timeline distortion effect, that the thought occurred to me that if we've had this technology, right, whether it be anti-gravity, anti-magnetic, reverse engineering, neural network systems, well, if we've had this, apparently had it as long as they're saying we did, well, why wouldn't we be building fleets of those? I think maybe that's what we have been doing, but that's just me. So, hey, I think this story is going to continue. Who knows? All right. This one, folks, I think has a lot to do with, I think, 3 areas. Now, we're going to have Steve back on Tuesday night. We had Brian on talking about geoengineering. This, if it continues as it's being reported, does not bode well, folks. Does not bode well. If you're seeing brains, you know, this flesh up here, calcifying. I mean, that's basically what I see Alzheimer's as. Now, in the 30s, let's just hope that this is an oddity and not becoming a normalcy. Here's one, folks. Telling you, if there's one thing that we will have is a record that it has been stated more than once emphatically upon this channel that we're seeing the transformation of the Homo sapien race. Well, here it is. GM drops the whole thing now of needing a steering wheel. They're designing cars now for AI. Be ready, they say, 2019. All right, got to talk about it. You see, if man didn't have a God, we'd invent one, and we do all the time. Here you go. High praises. Pot churches proliferate as state eases access to marijuana. Well, I'll guarantee you this. You certainly are going to feel the spirit when you walk into that place. And apparently, quite a few. I don't know. I guess it's no different than wine, right? Now, granted, in that faith, you're not sitting there to get a buzz on, you know. But maybe, I don't know. I can go in so many different directions on this one. But that inner voice tells me, Wayne, just suck it up and move on. Okay. All right, here's one. Dogs can't speak human. Here's the technology that could change this. Now, I thought about this as I put this story up. Let's be honest. How many of us would want your dog to actually talk to you? If I have seen dogs, they give love unconditionally. They do. It's the most interesting aspect of the canine species. Now, I wonder if a dog would just be brutally honest with you at the same time, not caring about so much your emotions, but being able to simply tell you that you're being a real jerk. I don't know how many females out there, women, that if they had a male dog that's in there while you're, how shall we say, bearing all to only yourself, that your dog could be talking. And what would a cat say? I mean, cats are nothing like dogs. I mean, I don't know. The expression, have you ever, it's like trying to herd cats. You know, you can't do it. If it gets to this point, wow, Dr. Doolittle, we thought it and we made it happen. It's true. All right. Sometime the timing of these stories, I'll tell you, I think they got like people sitting in our chat room going, oh man, these guys got really good ideas. I swear, I think that's what's going on here because I find these stories everywhere. All right. How death got cool. I mean, again, it's this psychic, neural lace network out there that we all are seeming to being jacked into. people getting downloads, their, psychic abilities suddenly coming alive. And now, where we've been talking about death, I mean, I got videos dating back a year and a half telling you that death was an illusion. The whole Christian dogma and all the religious dogmas about death. And, it ain't that way. We've been taught wrong. I'm not supposed to fear death. Embrace it. If you go naturally, well, way to go. If it happened more suddenly, who knows? Maybe that was, I don't know. But anyway, so it's hip to be dead. When I was actively involved in politics, marvel to me, you talk about voter fraud, how many cities and states will not take the dead off their voting rolls. You know why? Because all dead people vote Democrat. It's the truth. We had counties that there were more people voting than there were actually living. So, the moral from this story is make sure when you leave that if you're not of that particular party, let it be known before you pass over. So, yeah, it's hip to be dead. This is now going over into mainstream religion. You know that the funeral industry is the biggest monopoly that exists. Did you know that? Why does it cost so much to die? Think about this. A funeral now today, if you're going to get yourself buried into the ground, figure 10,000. That's just to get you in there. May even get you just a wooden box. There was a time where I had my license to sell insurance, and I was doing some research into that industry and went through the whole process, got the testing done, scored got the license. And then I learned about the funeral industry. So talk about a scam. When I pass on, my wife pass on, we're getting cremated. Why do I want to be in the ground? I ain't going to care about it. So if it's to the decomposition of my body, well, let's help the process. But anyway, it's something to really look into. But anyway, now it's cool to talk about being dead, how to prepare for being dead, how to begin to see being dead is not being dead. I think it's a good thing. I think that if it actually progresses where people can get out of this whole fear of death thing, heaven and hell, spot on. Folks, this one is a story that mankind knows so little, so little. So here is a story about your orangutans. They know how to make a secret medical salve. Interesting. It's right here on the Sun. You can go and check this thing out. But I think we once knew this. But that's not our environment anymore. We separated ourselves from that environment. I believe that there was a version, call it another offshoot of us, that at one time were absolutely in that place of paradise, our conception of paradise. And that is that the earth provided us everything that we needed. We lived in harmony with the earth. We lived in harmony with all the other kingdoms, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the aquatic kingdom. We don't have that anymore. Either it was taken away from us or something else. But the point of this story is that here we have the apes distantly related to us. I know people sometimes get all wrapped around the axle on that one, but it's a fact. Our DNAs are not that much. I think it's less than 3%, if that. But they have a knowledge of the plant kingdom that heals their aches and pains and ailments. How do y'all remember that movie with Sean Connery, The Medicine Man? Great movie. Go and watch it sometime. You know, and the whole thing behind there was that the big pharmas had sent him down into the South American forest. And once he got accepted by the indigenous people, they began to show him the thing. And you really ought to go see them. It's a great movie. Well done. Like Sean Connery anyway. But the whole point of that was that he found the cure for cancer. But because of deforestation, whatever, that was lost to mankind. Just get ready for this one, folks. You know, maybe we will have peace, but boy, there's a lot of activity. We're seeing just, I think, these boys with the expensive toys going way out of line. Listen, I want to bring this up, and I know I've been talking for about 20 minutes, but hey, we get a good chance to see the headlines. We'll talk about more about these, but get this. You don't hear about this on the news. It's not in the papers. It's not in the alternative news. It is a story that everyone on the planet Earth is ignoring. And what we have going on in Venezuela, folks, is of a catastrophe that pales any natural disaster, earthquake, flood, whatever. They're getting close to cannibalism. And, you know, this is a contagion. And why it's being ignored, I don't know. Can't figure that one out, but it is. So what this is the problem with our species. You know, it's one of the arguments of why collective consciousness is not attainable. Because at the very core of each of us is the desire to live. I mean, people will fight to survive. And the thought is that and that alone will prevent us from ever coming together. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's false. I think it's something that has to be considered. And when you look at what's going on here, I mean, they're butchering animals in the fields. The zoos are already empty. They cleaned them out months ago. But yet we don't hear anything about this. I mean, this is almost genocide. I don't know, folks. All right. I just want to say this for the record. I don't think that thing is lost at all. Mystery deepens over fate of super secret 1 billion military satellite. I think it's a cover story. Fly that thing up there. Oops, what happened there? I don't know. They ain't going to find that sucker. No. something tells me that what's the best way to disappear? Well, you commit suicide, or let people think you have, or that you were knocked off, or whatever. You know? How many of you ever seen the movie Assassin's Creed? Yeah. Anyway, told you we're just by the water cooler. Here's one, folks. So if you've got the cash, if you won those lottery here in the United States here recently, well, guess what? Literally in the next 5 years, they said that this thing could be coming up this year, 2019 for sure. You're going to be able to go up to space. Now, you ain't going to be able to stay there, but still, how many of us would not really get off in being able to at least to get up there? Oh, I'd say for me, you can get me up at 150,000 miles. Yeah, that would be cool. Anyway, so I want to say this to our good friends, Jennifer Collins, our good friend, Trisha G., and all the rest of you who are suffering from this virus. Yeah. How well did that flu shot work? Oh, have you read that the strain that's going around, it's not the one that was in the flu vaccine? I don't know. Because here's the thing, if they said that they were getting a record amount of people inoculated last fall, well, if you got a record amount of people that got the vaccination, but now we got a record almost pandemic coming in, epidemic for sure. I don't know. Hey, what do I know? All right. So if you got your buzz in California, guess what? Now those and the environmentalists, they may need to sit down and smoke a joint because apparently that owl right there, marijuana is not its favorite food. I don't know. If it's killing these endangered species, the price of pot just went up. It's a great investment, by the way. Almost done here. Water on Mars. Who said that we may have originated from Mars? That this planet was not ours originally? I wonder if you could have 3 possible habitable planets, right, in the Goldilocks zone. Because you know my other one? That's the one that's in the Kuiper belt. I mean, the asteroid belt. But hey, I digress. All right, last story here. So I have contended they have the cures for cancer. But these are going to cost millions of dollars. The general population, well, too bad for you, right? But the point that I'm bringing up here, particularly in this one with brain cancer, it wasn't the virus so much. It was the fact that our body, if told correctly, our immune system can literally heal us. It does heal us and can protect us. It can extrapolate proteins, enzymes from viruses that it can quickly replicate a defense sell against it. So anyway, there you go. So 180 people in here. Good Lord, folks. Well, how are you? So there you go. Little water cooler time. Of course, if I had any employees that were out there for 45 minutes, I'd have to begin to wonder, well, what's going on? I need to be on that conversation. So anyway, I hope that was fun. I always enjoy being with y'all. You're the best. Let's see. I wanted to make sure that I got all the notes. By the way, if you've got your YouTube channel that you're starting, let me know. Send it. We'll still promote it. Always going to promote it. I'm going to be doing a video along with this Orion video, and I want, I'm just going to show you how they can't do something without telling us. And I've got enough of them collected now. I'm going to show you how they've done this. And I guess it's kind of like this thought. You don't have to make a worldwide announcement. You just got to let someone of our species know about it. And if they're okay with it, then it's kind of like, you know, if someone makes a deal for our species, well, then how do we correct that? Now, I know a lot of you said, well, that isn't fair. Neither was the Garden of Eden story, if you come to think about it. The decision of one dude, and we're all screwed? Maybe that's where they learned it from. I don't know. I just kid. Oh, folks, y'all are the best. I hope it's been fun. If you like these kind of things, let me know. I enjoy doing them. I think that the headlines are, they're just some of the stuff that comes out. I mean, we get so intense in our discussions here. I mean, listen, I think any PhD, any professor, any student that was looking to go into a master's program in theology, theoretical physics, parapsychology, sociology, alternative agriculture. By the way, tonight with Dr. Miller, it's one of the things that I've asked them. I've gotten your emails. A lot of you have asked questions. I'm going to be getting those to him. But I've asked him to also kind of discuss alternative agriculture. That this is something that I think all of us really need to look into. If they're really jacking with our DNA code through the alteration of GMOs, chemtrails, God knows what else, then maybe we could take some of this back by ingesting some of the stuff that we can grow that we know is not going to kill us. Just a thought. So I'm just telling you, that's what we've got to do. See, that's just part of the community. People are feeling you know what it is? It's kindness. Over and over and over again, it's kindness. You people, kindness. That's what you emanate. It's emanated in words. And we've learned that we can agree to disagree, but that just makes us stronger. Well, it's made me a little bit more tolerant. I don't know. Could you imagine the next thing we're going to have? You know, I'm sorry. I'm getting this thing. How many of you remember back in the 80s, Mary Hartman and Fernwood Tonight? So, listen, folks, I appreciate all of you. Blessings to all of you. I mean, you know, I'm just going to speak peace over each and every one of you. I just speak peace over you, that peace be your constant companion. Yeah. So that's what I speak over all of you. Appreciate you bunches. And we will see you tonight with Dr. Richard Allen Miller, who prefers to go by Rick. But listen, I figure any person who's gone through and got the parchment with the PhD, that's just common courtesy and respect. And that's what we show everyone. Be kind to all of you. We'll talk to you tonight. Thank you.